Welcome back to the Pin Pals podcast, the podcast about enamel pins and the rad pin makers behind them. I'm your host, Eric from Warrior Pins, and thank you for joining me today. First off, let me ask, how are you? Did you get everything that you wanted to do last week done? Cool. How's that one DIY project that you're working on? Oh, cool, nice. Well, I can't wait to see it when it's done. Shout out to my Buy Me a Coffee supporters. We got Vince from VinPin, Joel from Miss Penny, Eduardo the Pin Lord. I mean, come on. Chris and Nick from Pins by Charlie, and Jordan from Pinsomnia Designs. Thank you so much for your continued support, not only monetarily speaking, but also like being active in the Discord too. Like, that's really cool. We've built a community. I'm going to keep saying it and running that phrase into the ground, but it's just crazy that we've built a community. Anyways, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening or watching to this. Anything helps, really, honestly. Please, I'm begging you, on my knees. Likes, comments, reviews, 5-star ratings. But seriously, anything that you can do will help the podcast. Goes a long way. If you want to watch the podcast, you can do so on Spotify and YouTube. If you feel like supporting Pin Pals, you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/pinpalspodcast. Yes, Pin Pals Podcast. We have lots of fun rewards that you can access. My favorite right now being Discord. It's just, just a pretty cool place to hang out. If you can't get enough of that pin life, then I highly recommend checking out the Buy Me a Coffee page. Links to everything I just mentioned will be in the show notes. So we got a great show lined up for you this week. We have Jordan from Pinsomnia Designs, a pin shop based in Canada. And shout out to Canada for maple syrup and rad pin makers. I believe episode 6, Adventure Society, is also based out of Canada. Not that really pertains, another rad Canadian pin maker. Anyways, Jordan and I, we had a great conversation all around enamel pins and our love for pins. Some highlights include breaking down what a successful Kickstarter campaign looks like. She breaks down her successful Kickstarters, and boy, was that part really enlightening, for me at least. Someone who's never done a Kickstarter / too afraid of the failure that comes with Kickstarter. I really learned a lot talking to Jordan about Kickstarter, so hopefully you guys do too. We also talk about various marketing strategies for social media on the website, sustainability, which is becoming a pretty big topic of conversation nowadays. We go over some of the lessons she's learned throughout the years of being a pin maker. I put her through the rapid fire, and we talk about a lot of other things. It's a great conversation. I didn't really know Jordan or her pin shop prior to asking her to be on the podcast. I knew of Pinsomnia Designs, but I never really did a deep dive or made the plunge and bought any pins. So I didn't really know what to expect when reaching out and contacting her and scheduling this interview. But she quickly became one of my favorite pin makers. I'll tell you, from her designs to her personality, Jordan was great, and I really think you're going to love this episode. So before we get into that, I need to talk to you guys about the sponsor for this episode, Your Stuff Made, which is an artist-owned manufacturer of ethical custom products, aka your new favorite pin manufacturer. They helped us make the Pin Pals podcast logo pins, which are available at warriorpins.com for your buying needs. Honestly, I cannot say enough good things about these pins. They came out so clean, and they're still getting tons of compliments for whoever buys one. I'm thrilled that I decided to go with this company. The communication with them is awesome. The quick turnarounds, the affordability. The other thing that sets this company apart is that they actually care about what they produce. And it's so evident in their communication and their display of everything. Whether you're talking about a pin, a patch, a sticker, keychains, tote bags, the amount of passion and creative energy behind each product is the same, and it's very damn admirable. I'm telling you, these guys are the real deal. If you're new to the pin game, or even you're a veteran and you're looking to switch things up, you're on the fence about where to get pins manufactured, look no further. Your Stuff Made is the place to go. With low order minimums, amazing customer service, and only 50% down for a deposit, you can't go wrong. What you want to do is visit yourstuffmade.com. You want to fill out a quote and tell them that Eric from the Pin Pals podcast sent you. That will get you 10% off your first order. 10 bones off your order. That's a really good deal. You're not going to regret it. That's yourstuffmade.com. Now, let's dive into my conversation with my pin pal, Pinsomnia Designs. Welcome to Pin Pals, Jordan. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty great now that we're finally talking and all the bells and whistles have been figured out.
So fancy.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Just on a day off, having a good time, taking it easy.
Oh, nice. I love it. Love the shirt that you're wearing.
Thank you. Had to rep the
Nintendo, all the classic Mario characters for anyone listening. And your cat ears look like they also have speakers, or is that a hoodie? Wait.
It's my headphones, and I think it does play from that. I've never used them like that, but they're supposed to light up, but again, they're kind of dead. So they're just cat ear headphones at the moment.
Very cool. Oh, I like that. It kind of blend in with everything, so I wasn't sure. But
Just
trying to paint
hair.
the picture for anyone listening, very cool. We're here to talk pins. So why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners? Who are you and your pin shop?
All right. My name is Jordan. I run Pinsomnia Designs. So I pretty much dabble in a lot of Nintendo themed designs or video game themed designs, but also some originals, which I'm trying to move into. So Pinsomnia Designs, it was a rebrand. I actually was a different name before. So I made it really complicated and rebranded in the middle of my pin journey.
Oh, interesting. All right. Right off the bat, you brought it up. Let's talk about it. What were you called before, and how long were you known by this name?
So I was playing with perlers before. So I used to do actually perler bead art. So that was where my started with video game stuff. I know that there was like a video portion. So this is the kind of stuff I used to make.
Oh, very cool.
Love perler beads. But I wanted to do something that people were more into, I guess, because they didn't really sell, really, because what are you going to do with them? I made some picture frames, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I bought a pin and then I fell in love. So I was like, well, I could do that too. Why don't I just work on that? So I was playing with perlers for a really long time, probably like 4 or 5 years at least. I had a really big following on my perler Instagram. And then I realized that people didn't really like the pins that I was making because they're different communities, right? Mm-hmm. So I decided it was time to rebrand and make a new Instagram. And here we are as Pinsomnia Designs.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so you started from scratch then. Yeah. It wasn't like you just turned and took all the followers and all that stuff.
Yeah, because they were not interested. I'd post some of my pin stuff and it would get like 20 to 50 likes, maybe if I was lucky. Whereas a perler bead creation that I made would get like 200 likes.
Yeah.
So like, they don't like that very much.
Yeah. When was this? When did the rebrand happen?
The rebrand, I believe, happened early last year. So I think around February the rebrand, I guess. The Instagram started early last year. The rebrand was probably about 6 months ago, possibly.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. Interesting. So trying to like get a gauge and, a gauge in growing your audience and starting on Instagram all over again. So this was like pretty recently, and it's pretty hard, to like do the organic thing on Instagram nowadays.
Especially now, because before I used to grow so fast, because this was 2017, 2016 is when I started with Instagram and the perler beads. And I grew so fast and it was great. And now it's like, I got a follower. This is amazing. No, it's very slow growth, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. You hope for the best at this point, I think.
Yeah.
What What have you been what kind of like content have you been posting, and what kind of like growth have you seen with this like new rebrand?
With the rebrand, I was trying to kind of move away from video game pins because like I love them and stuff, but I wanted to try and do my own stuff. So I started the rebrand with a brand of otters. I was making otter pins, I guess would be the best way to put it. So I was making those otter pins, and that was the first stuff that I started posting. And it was really slow to, get going because people they tend to not like original artwork as much as, of course, characters they already know. So it's hard to get traction, even though, they're decent designs or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with that, and then I kind of switched gears and moved kind of back to video games. So I did a whole ghost Nintendo themed thing. So that kind of gave me some more followers, and then I posted some of my old Zelda stuff, and it kind of grabbed some people's attention, which is good.
Absolutely. What kind of hashtags are you using? I'm curious. Are you diving deep into like the Nintendo hashtags, or are you kind of sticking with like the pin stuff?
I got a little scared of the Nintendo tags because you just never know.
Because Nintendo suits. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of them. So I've got a couple that'd be like Pintendo or maybe Mario with a one in it, or like something that's derivative of the Mario stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I more sway to the pin side. It kind of depends on the platform though. If I'm on Etsy and I'm using those tags, I will use the Nintendo stuff, but on Instagram, it's a little scary. So I'm doing the whole pin tags, but I have a note in my phone that has like the same pin hashtags to use again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
But then I heard that gets you shadow banned. So, I mean, what do you do?
I don't know. At this point, I just try not to get too disappointed when like not a lot of people see a particular post, or because
Yeah.
I've been having my own struggles with that, and just like mentally, like you put a lot into like these posts, and you think about the timing, and you're creating graphics sometimes, like, and then it
Yes.
doesn't do too well, and then you like see someone similar to you, like and they've got like 10 times the amount of likes. I'm like, what the heck?
So what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, it's and that's not a healthy way to look at things.
No.
So I just try not to get too worried about it. I post what I want to post when I want to
Yeah.
post, and I feel like little changes are happening to the algorithm and with Instagram, where people who really engage with your page on even just by going and liking a couple posts, like just doing that a little bit, you're gonna be seen a little bit more frequently to those people. So, I consider those people like your core audience. Like,
Yes. You're like, thank you. I see you liking every post. You're amazing.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You see, you do it enough, you start seeing the same people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're just like appreciative that you have, people at all liking
Of
your
course.
stuff. And that's just
Thank
like
you.
me coming to terms with how crappy the algorithm is.
Oh, it's so bad. I can't.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So let's backtrack for a minute. I'm curious because I want to hear everyone's like origin story. Do you have any early pin memories? I know you're up in Canada.
Yes.
Is there Disney in Canada? I really don't know.
There's
Did you ever-
nothing really there's no Disney stores, I don't think, not near me anyway. Maybe in a bigger city near me, but not where I live. So there's like nothing really.
That's a good
But
possible like trivia question. I don't know.
where are the Disney stores?
Yeah, in Canada. Is there a Disney in Canada?
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to look. But I was fortunate enough to go to Disneyland like when I was probably, I think it was 13 or 14. So we went to Disneyland, and just even then they had the walls of pins, and this was like probably 2014. I'm gonna age myself. They had the walls of pins, and I'm like, these are so cool. I love these. And my very first pin that I ever purchased was it had Mickey hands and it had a heart. So he like was just chilling like this with a heart in it. And that was my very first pin. And I held it and kept on to it for like ever. And it wasn't until years down the road that I was like, hey, this is like actually something I can make. This is something I can do. Because you just buy them and you don't realize how they get made or who makes them. But that was my first pin memory. And then I just started collecting them kind of here and there. And then it turned into a habit.
Did it start off with just collecting a lot of, were you like in the Disney pin community?
I wasn't, just because I didn't have the access to it. So I had maybe like 4 or 5 Disney pins. And then where did I get the next pins? Some random little stores would carry like certain, like a taco pin or like a poutine pin. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And then my mom would buy me some. She'd find some really cool ones in random places that they travel. So she'd always buy me pins. And then I just started to have this cork board full of random pins from different places. And that turned into the thing that I started to collect. That and pressed pennies. So kind of the same, but different.
No, that's pretty cool. I love those pressed penny machines. Every time I saw one, I thought it was so cool. Good. And you could see, they were always like see-through acrylic, like the housing, so you could see the gears turning. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I look for when I go on vacation.
Good times. Yeah, I'll still do that if I have change, for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
So do you remember like your like aha moment when you were like, oh, maybe how do these get made? Maybe I can do this. Do you remember, did you see like a piece of art or a certain kind of pin that like resonated with you?
I'm trying to think which ones or who it was. There was a bunch of like really artistic pins that I thought were really cool, and I ended up buying them. And I was kind of looking into them more, and somebody had posted something like make your own pins, or this is the process, or it was like a TikTok or something to that effect before TikTok. And they're like, yeah, just find this and do that. And I was like, oh, this is so easy. Like, why don't I do this? And then I have a thing where I like to research stuff like a lot before I do anything.
Me too.
Yeah. I have to like obsessively look it up and know everything about it before I do it, which again, not possible. So I managed to find a middleman, as we pretty much probably all do, to start. And I ran a Kickstarter for my first designs. So my first designs were a Breath of the Plushie set. So a take on some of the Breath of the Wild characters, which I'm actually doing a redesign of and pre-orders for that right now too. But those were my first designs. I had no idea the difference between soft enamel and hard enamel, and I chose soft enamel because it was cheaper. So that was my extent of research there. And I went through the middleman, which was a good experience. It was a good middleman. But they were expensive.
Yep, that's the case.
It was so, and I had no idea. I thought that they were a factory because they weren't really clear in their description. Upon further investigation, I'm like, oh, it was a middleman.
Yeah.
But it was a good process. I mean, I was able to vector the images before because I have background in graphic design. So they were vectorized already. I sent it to them. They just went, oh, cool. This is awesome. It's all done. And then they just sent it off to the factory, I guess. So they didn't really have to do much, which was good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you're paying not to, to lean into their expertise.
Yeah.
They're going to market it like that. But like, they've done it a gazillion times and it's just like, okay, this is what you want. Okay, no problem. We can do that.
Yeah.
But for someone new, it's helpful.
Yes. So, and that's what when people ask like, oh, how can I get into this? I'm like, find a middleman, get your toes in there to figure out if that's something you want to do. Because again, dealing with somebody in a different country in a different time zone with different, like a language barrier, it could be difficult for somebody starting off, right? Mm-hmm. It would be a lot to jump in. So I used the middleman once and went, I can't really afford to do this again. Let me put a post up. I don't even know what site I visited, but I visited a site asking for a quote on
Ask Jeeves.
This Saturday. Pardon?
Ask Jeeves.
Yes, something. I'm like, I need a quote. Somebody help me. And the manufacturer I actually still use reached out to me and she's like, I love your designs. Like they remind me of my childhood. And I was like, oh, this girl's so cute. I need to go with her. So we still work together, have a great rapport with her, but I've just worked with 1 or 2 manufacturers since then, which is kind of cool.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool. There's no horror stories or anything like that. So,
I mean, they're not always perfect, but I can let her know and be like, hey guys, you kind of slipped on the quality. And she's like, oh, let me fix that for you. Like your next order, we'll put it in there.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Yeah, that's cool. So walk me through making your first pin. I'm really curious because you said that it was soft enamel, but I feel like the way
Yes.
you said it was like, I wish it was hard enamel.
Well, they actually turned out really good because I'm a hard enamel. I prefer hard enamel, but I do appreciate designs in soft enamel. But I didn't really know the difference at the time. So my drawing style is very like I have thick lines and it's very like aggressive looking, I
Bold.
guess. Yeah, it's very bold and it's aggressive. And look, this has an outline. So the whole enamel pin thing wasn't a challenge to draw something that had like outlines in it. So that was good. That was good for me. So I made these designs. I made sure that they'd be pin ready. And I got the soft enamel. And when I got them, they actually were really cool because I did black nickel for the first ones. I had to think about that. But it was really cool because they're not like typical soft enamel where they're really thin lines and everything because you can put a lot of detail in those soft enamel pins. These ones just had really thick lines and I haven't seen a soft enamel pin that's done that since I got those ones. So I'm like, this is kind of cool. I kind of like them. I could use them as stamps if I ever wanted to. I don't know why that came to mind, but yeah, they turned out really well because the lines were really thick and they kind of had a hard enamel / soft enamel look to them. It's very weird to describe. And of course I don't have any here to show you, but so I had my Etsy from before when I did the perler bead thing. So I had like one sale on it. Woo. So I kept my name. And even when I did my Kickstarter for the Breath of the Plushie pins, I was playing with perlers. So as soon as I got the pins in hand, my husband actually had them shipped to his work and they texted me and I was supposed to be going to work at like noon. He texted me, he's like, hey, they're here. So I threw on some clothes I got ready and I ran down there because I wanted to look at them. So I grabbed the box and I'm ripping into it and I'm like trying to give them to like everybody that's there. And I'm like, hey, look at these, I made them. And then I brought them to work and like took pictures of them in front of like where I work.
Oh,
I was very excited about them. And I think as soon as I finished my shift, which was like the longest shift of my life, I went home and I started listing everything on the Etsy shop, which looking back was probably bad taste because I hadn't fulfilled my Kickstarter orders yet. But at the time I had no idea about the way to do things. So I was just too excited.
I love that. I think everyone can relate to that excitement with their first pin for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's backtrack for a little bit because I think Kickstarter is an interesting topic. Um,
Yes.
so you did it back then, and I think I also saw that there's a current Kickstarter where you're remaking some of these pins. So what's the key to launching a successful Kickstarter in your opinion?
So Kickstarter I have a love-hate relationship with them currently because like I said before, I'm research obsessed, but I'm also like obsessed with checking something as it's going. So my very first Kickstarter was it was quite a success considering nobody knew who I was. I'd never made pins before. It was a super success. It was actually one of my highest Kickstarters. And I don't know if it's because people were like, oh, they're brand new, let's help them out. But it was really successful and I didn't really plan or prepare or do anything for it. So I think I might've just got lucky. But the next ones I ran after that, I had one or two that weren't successful. And I feel like planning and advertising beforehand is a really, really important component of running a Kickstarter that's successful. Because I've had some where I'm too excited to launch it and I just want to launch it and like, look at this, go support my Kickstarter. And I don't put any work into the beginning of it. So people are like, oh, I saw this like once and maybe I'll click on it and oh, it's over. Sorry. So definitely the preparation beforehand and getting it out there is super important because I had another one later that I did actually like slow down, take a minute, advertise the stuff before, and it was a little bit more successful than those other ones, which was good.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So how far in advance are we talking about like advertising before we go live with the campaign?
I've seen people do like months beforehand. And actually this time I'm going to try the months thing. I'm doing a Kickstarter that's going to launch on Pi Day, actually. So March 14th, I thought it was kind of funny because it's all food themed. So I'm holding on to my designs, and I'm going to advertise them as soon as my link's approved and ready. And I'm going to hold out until March 14th so that it can launch on Pi Day.
Okay. So, bam,
So,
exclusive, Pin Pals exclusive.
yes. Yeah. So I'm going to try my best to just hold off, which is hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. I get that excitement, and you just kind of want to push it out there in the world. But I think, yeah, you're right. I think that's pretty important to like plan ahead and schedule ahead of time, and what kind of like content are you putting out there to make the announcement? Are you like slowly unveiling like the different tiers or like what's included, or are you just kind of giving all that information at once? You breaking it down? Very curious.
Yes. So this one is actually, I'll tell you the name of it. It's like a video game ice cream shop. So it's going to have video game characters as ice cream or desserts or something to that effect. Yeah. So I'm like, two of my favorite things, dessert and like video game. So this time I'm going to release like each design on my Instagram kind of like a week at a time, I guess is probably how it's going to space out. And just say launching soon on Kickstarter, have the links in my bio. But then the Kickstarter banner is going to have everything on it anyway. So it's not like, oh, I want to wait till all of these are unveiled, but you could see them all if you want to in that small little. I mean, some people are really good at the mystery thing. I'm not. I'm like, hey, look at my designs. I made this. I love this. Look at it, please. Love it.
Yeah, I've seen so many different ways of doing it. Like, I guess if a campaign gets to a certain percentage, then they'll unveil like the next tier or something like that. I've never done a Kickstarter. I've always felt too scared to really
You
to
can do it.
I don't know. I'm just like I'd rather not like see myself as like someone who couldn't like get fund a campaign versus let me just buy these pins and then just hold on to the stock of them for like 3 years and never sell a dime. I don't know.
I've done
It's
that
weird.
too.
Yeah. But good for you for continuing to to get out there and still do the campaigns and stuff like that.
And like I said, it is a love hate though, because you'll sit there and you'll stare at it and be like, why isn't it doing very well? Why do people not like this? What's wrong? And it was especially bad when I did my otters pins because they were an original design. So I was like, I thought they were so cute. Like I love them. But you see all these other campaigns that are trending and they're Pokemon or they're Animal Crossing or they're Nintendo. And like, it's hard to compete with that. And their designs are amazing, but it's so hard to compete with something that people already know and already have connections with. Right. So that's why I've kind of swerved back into the Nintendo juice. Like,
Yeah.
I was going to get back over there.
No, I hear you. I dabbled in like a couple different other types of pins that weren't like Ninja Turtle related.
Yeah.
Like they weren't selling. No one was like getting the jokes, and if they were, it was like very little. We were great, but we were little. Then I'm like, all right, well, let me just like lean into the turtle stuff. That's no problem because I'm like a huge fan. But I wanted to. I didn't want to be known as the turtle guy, and here I am with the background that I have right now.
Oh, that's funny. But I totally get it because I tried to stray away, and here I am making video game ice cream shop again. So
yeah, but at least it's fun. I mean, you make really fun, cute. What was your tagline? Cute, creepy, and sometimes a little sleepy.
Yeah, which is very accurate.
Who would you say your audience looks like?
It started off as a lot of Zelda fans because I made like a lot of Zelda items to start. I think majority of my collection is Zelda stuff. But it's also very cutesy. So like I'm here's a confession. I cannot draw people. So people keep asking me, can you draw Link? Can you draw like Princess Zelda? And I'm like, no, like I can. So people do request these things, but I'm more for like, I've drawn the items, I've drawn places or ghosts that are dressed up like Link, but don't make me draw Link. I can't do it. But it's mostly people that are into cute things. So I try to make things as cute as possible. Mm-hmm. And if I like it, I feel like my audience might like it.
Okay.
It's kind of generally, and my friends, I have a Discord, a pin Discord that somebody set up, and we're all like a little family, and we toss screenshots out and ask for somebody to redline your work and see, does this make sense? Do you know what this is? Which is really awesome. So
That is
also
really
helpful.
cool.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm trying to tap into. Well, we're, I guess by the time people, it's already live. Pin Pals has a Discord, but
Oh,
I'm also like trying to, I'm also trying to learn how to like properly use Discord and like
right.
like properly run a server while
Right.
doing this. So, um, I don't know what it's going to be at the time of this recording, but right now it's a perk where, well, obviously guests will have access to it, but anyone who supports the podcast via Buy Me a Coffee, that's one of the perks. You'll get access to the server,
Awesome.
and then once you get
Yeah,
approved, like you can see everything and stuff like that. But we're really trying
that's good.
to have all, share all this insights, this data, like during this isn't an ad for the Discord, but it low
No,
key
it's
is
good.
turning into one.
No,
Um,
it's good.
we talked about Black Friday data, and we were just like exchanging numbers and being like, "Yo, this is what we found on Etsy compared to like our shop," and we were like talking trends and percentages and stuff like that. Like it got really geeky, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Um, so I'm curious, this Discord that you're a part of, why is it awesome to you? Like, why is it a lot of fun to be part of it?
So this particular Discord, it's one of the companies, one of my friends, she runs a company. So she also has a Discord for her customers to be in. And so she posts what's coming up, this and that, but she also has a different chat for people who are makers, and so it's hidden away from the customers. And it's really great because we've all kind of just become a little family over the last couple of years. It's been a while actually since that I've been in there. And it's nice because you can trust everybody and you can post something and be like, hey, do you like this, without the fear of someone going, oh, I do really like that, I'm going to make that a pin, and like steal it. Right. Because you always kind of have that fear when you post something. It's a little scary, but it's nice that you can go to a place and trust these people, and they give you honest feedback. That's the best thing. Like, people are honest. They're not like, oh yeah, that's nice, whatever. They actually look at it and be like, actually, I think you should move this like one thing over here, or this should look like that. Like, they're very honest, and it's really nice feedback. Even if they're not into the things that you're making, they'll give you honest feedback. Be like, well, if I was into this, this is what I think you should do. So it's been really, really helpful.
That's so cool.
It's really nice.
I love that. If I have to buy something in order to get to get into that server, let me know.
Okay,
We
I'll
can
get
DM
you the
about that.
inside. Sounds good.
Um, what other marketing strategies or tactics do you have to like get the word out for your pins?
That's a good one. I go through these like highs and lows of actually hustling and then not so much. I also have a full-time job, so I do this as like a hobby. Um, so generally when I work all day, I get home and then I log into my computer and I draw and do whatever. So it's like my escape. I get home and I relax and do pin stuff. But sometimes I'll be like really adamant about advertising. So I'll be posting links of upcoming things and all these different pin groups on Facebook. I'll try digging up some of my old posts and like reposting them with different hashtags on them. I tried paying for Facebook ads during one of my Kickstarter campaigns. It got me a lot of clicks for views, but it didn't get any backing or anything like that. It's cool for exposure, but wasn't really super helpful. Instagram ads haven't really done it for me either.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've tried them a couple times.
It's like a lot of empty impressions.
Yeah, they're not, it's brought nothing to the table, or I didn't get any likes, or people weren't actually checking anything out. Or I'd done it for a campaign and they took 7 days, I think, to approve one of my posts. And by the time it was approved, my campaign was over.
Oh, what the heck?
I know, I'm like, oh, thanks. That's helpful. So I go through like weird little phases where I'm like, I got to post these links everywhere so people will know that they have these products. And then I'll just be like nothing for a couple weeks because I'm like, Facebook's exhausting. So I'm like,
yeah,
so it's not really consistent.
Yeah. Okay. So where would you say you've seen like the most success? And success relative, like I guess not like likes and stuff like that. I guess more like sales and engagement, like stuff where
Right.
people were like looking at it, but like I don't know, looking at it in a meaningful way.
Oh, for sure. Actually, I'm so bad at it, but TikTok, I don't know if it's directly brought sales, but I had a couple posts just blow up just for no reason. Like I don't even know what they were, but it was just me showing off pins or my best sellers, worst sellers. Those videos are fun to make and fun to watch, but they take so much time.
Yes.
But I mean, if it is getting out there and it is being viewed, it's super helpful. So a couple of those, I removed the clock app watermark and then posted it onto Instagram, and different ones blew up. So it's really funny that the same thing is not like the same across all platforms. Because the one that blew up super well on TikTok had like 300 views on Instagram, whereas the one that has like 1,500 views on Instagram had like 200 on TikTok. Like it's just very all over the place. But those two videos are pretty much the thing where I see the most action, if you will.
Wild. Just
It's not, and they're the hardest thing to make.
yeah. Are you okay? You got to give me some TikTok tips. Give me something. We'll have you on every episode
Oh,
with
it's so
a
hard.
TikTok tip.
I've only made like I think TikTok tip. Oh, you should have like that's a hashtag. Oh, I like that.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
I
no, it really is hard. Like I've had the app crash on me while trying to make something, and it's
Yep.
so disheartening.
I did that the other day and I was like, well, not having a TikTok then.
Yeah, not today.
We're done.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I'll actually spend time trying to look up like fun sounds, like the people like, welcome to Small Business TikTok. This is my blah, 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 and this is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. But their voice is a little annoying. So I got to pick a different one because I don't want to talk on there.
But I
So
think I've seen like when I do TikToks, which not that many, but I think when or I'll say TikToks and Reels, same thing to me. When
Yeah.
you try and figure out like original audio,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a little bit better success with those videos. And then trying to have people like I don't
Use
know,
it.
repost it or
Yeah.
remix it or splice it, dice it. I don't know.
Whatever they do, these
Yeah.
kids. Yeah, I'm the same. I did that once and it actually got used a couple times and I was like, oh, I'm like famous right now.
Yeah.
But half the time I'm like, I don't know what to say.
What are some of your favorite like hashtags to explore either on Instagram or TikTok? Pin related.
Definitely enamel pins. That's just I'm following that on like every platform you could possibly follow hashtags on, of course. What was the other one? I follow cute enamel pins a lot.
Okay.
Or kawaii enamel pins, something like that. Because I like the cute enamel pin stuff. Or video game pins. That's also a good one.
That's a good one. I think
People are so
I follow
creative.
that one.
Yeah. People are so creative on there. So it helps to scroll these people and like take inspiration from like what they've done, or they've done a cool screen print on something. And I'm like, hey, I could use that effect on my pins. Like it's just cool to see what's out there. So I waste a lot of time looking at a lot of other people's art. I don't think it's time wasted.
No. You could call it research. I like that.
It's research. There you go. Market research.
Market research. Yeah. Sometimes that's what you have to. That's what you have to do. But like speaking of that, like one trend I guess that I saw going around and that I participated in was like how I pack orders.
Oh yes, those are so fun to watch.
Right? Yeah, it's just cool to see everyone's process and getting sneak peeks of like the rooms that they're in, whether it's like their office or a lot of people put a lot of work into these videos, and I'm just
That's
like
why I haven't done one yet.
It's just cool, but it's just cool to see how people like what their process is, because like you can learn from it and things like that. Have you learned anything at all? Have you picked up like any sort of like real value from any of the content? And if so, what was that piece of content?
Well, a lot of them have really clean desks, so I should start with that. This is actually my desk here because I'm using my husband's desk right now. So I did clean it. It's probably the perfect opportunity to make a how I pack my orders video, because
There you
usually it's just
go.
a lot of paper everywhere. So with those videos, I love them. They're so aesthetic. They're so awesome.
With the lo-fi music in the background too.
Yes, and they've got like the pink monitor and like the lovely keyboard, and I'm like, where do you find this stuff? Um, so I'm working on my aesthetic before I make one of those videos. But people do appreciate. People appreciate packaging most of the time. And I struggle with the packaging sometimes because I'm like, well, when I get a pin, I love opening it. I love it if it's in like a little parcel and it has stickers and yada yada. But then it does go in the garbage or the recycling. Like I don't keep it. I used to, and then I got a lot of paper products. But it's tough because it just ultimately ends up not being in your life anymore. You
Mhm.
appreciate the sentiment of opening it and it's so awesome, but then so I struggle with that myself. Like, do I spend all this extra money on these cute pink shiny mailers, or do I just put it in a craft envelope with a sticker? Like I struggle with that. So my inner packaging, I've got like cute little paper bags that I put pins in and I put stickers and whatever on it. So what's in the package is what counts.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's most important. And I mean, like, I think it's just good. I don't want to say it's like good business practice, but when you take into consideration the pandemic and how difficult like things have been and like
Mhm.
prices and stuff like that are going
Oh,
up, like I think it's okay to like try and save every now and then. But you also make a valid point. A
yeah.
lot of that stuff just ends up in the garbage and it's cool for like that 1 minute. And I think it's great. I think everyone should always be striving to give their customers like an awesome like experience, but is it really worth
Mhm.
it, like, paying a little extra, like you said, you know,
It's such a struggle.
plastic versus paper, using something that's more eco-friendly and stuff like that? It's like
And it's tough. Like I want to be more eco-friendly. Oh, go ahead.
literally where I was going with this. I wanted to ask if you were taking any steps to be, like, sustainable. One of our guests in the past said that they have their manufacturer put their pins on cardboard and then wrap it in like tissue paper or something like that and then ship it that way
I
as
love
opposed to
that.
not bag them individually.
I
Um,
love that.
I think that's really cool. I'll be honest, I haven't done that yet, even
I
though
need
I've
to do
been
that.
saying I'd love to try
Me too.
that. Um,
Yeah.
but so I'm still trying to figure out how to take my own steps and use like less plastic and less waste and stuff like that. So the question to you, do you do anything to be more eco-friendly? Leave less of a footprint?
Yeah. And that's one of the other things that I was struggling with, right? So I was like, I want to be more eco-friendly because I've got my pins. They're all on backing cards. They're in a plastic bag. Like there's a lot of waste, but this is how people like things to be, shipped. It protects them. It's a whole thing to open it up and you're like, da, 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 da. Like they're so excited when they open it, but it's so much waste, especially with the plastic. And I was thinking of possibly getting glassine bags. I don't know if those are better for the environment, but they're probably better than plastic.
Hmm.
I have thought about having the manufacturer ship in the cardboard and paper, and I love that idea because I hate sitting on my living room floor and opening every single one of those little bags, looking at the pin, and then be like grading that way. My fingers are so sore after opening those bags. I can only imagine how awful it was putting them in. So it would save like their side, my side, and it would save the environment. So that's definitely one of the things that I'm hoping to do on my next shipment. But being in Canada with not sustainable, environmentally friendly mailers, it's really hard to get anything
Mm,
affordable and also environmentally friendly here, which I keep trying, I keep looking. There's got to be something out there, but it's a process. So I just have to
yeah.
get through my box of craft bubble mailers first, and I will probably be choosing something a little different.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, it's difficult, but I think even just like having a manufacturer like package pins that way, uh, could spiral into something. Saves a little bit of plastic and,
Yes.
and a little bit of something.
Yes. And like that's such a you probably fit more things in there. I don't know. Seems better for sure.
Yeah, maybe the box would be smaller. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know how they would stack it, but yeah.
When I get
Uh,
that next set of pins, I'll make sure to take a video when I open it.
yeah, that'll be a good content. Definitely make a TikTok with that.
Yeah, post on the TikTok.
Do you have any tips? Like, let's say someone comes up to you, Jordan, and asks you, "Hey, I want to make pins. How do I get started?" Aside from like, you can do your research, you can go with the middleman. What's like, maybe like a tip, something that you wish you had known like when you started that you would tell someone? That was very wordy.
No, I get, but it's good. So most of the time when people are like messaging me and asking for help, they're just asking me from a manufacturer, which is always like a bone of contention in the pin community. Instead, I just offer them help. Like, how can I help you find a manufacturer? How can I help you get started? Some of the tips would definitely be learn to vector because it's going to help you a lot and save you some money. Because I have a lot of friends that don't vector as well, and they have to commission somebody to vector it for them, or like as we're friends, we'll just do it for each other a lot of the time. But you never know,
In that
right?
Discord group, right?
In that Discord group, yeah. So I mean, that's a big one is learn to vector. Also understand colors are definitely different on your computer than they are in person, and
Mhm.
that's something I didn't really think about, which I should know with my background in graphic design. I should have known that, but here we are. So with that first set of pins, I just kind of plucked colors out of Illustrator without changing my palette to the solid coated palette. I just used the whatever palette that was there, and the colors were really different, but they still worked. So those two, learn to vector and know that colors are different, are probably my two biggest tips there. With the third being put two posts on your pins.
Facts. I still mess up with that, and I don't think about it when
I
I'm
am too.
reviewing proofs. But and when I get, I'm just like, oh my god, it's spinning. I gotta
Like,
fix it. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I'd still do that too if I'm like, is it too big for two pins or two posts or too small for two posts? Like I try to always sneak it in there and they're like, it's too small.
Yeah, yeah. But like I think some of my designs have been like a little top heavy, where it
Yeah.
just will naturally just
No.
like fall down, but it's
Yeah. Oh,
still like really small. I'm like, gosh dang,
well,
well, these are
yeah.
freebies.
Great. Well, you'd think that the manufacturer would maybe try and help you out by like putting the pin up, like the post a little higher, but nah, right in the middle. It's
No,
fine.
it's they're very transactional, is what I've
Yes,
found out to be.
definitely true.
Yeah. What's something you're really proud of with Pinsomnia Designs? What are your
That's a
pin
good one.
accomplishments?
My pink accomplishments. I like that. Um, it's kind of cool with like I never thought for a second I would ever sell out of a design. But I've sold out of one for sure, and then I'm almost sold out of my very first design. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that I actually managed to sell enough to actually warrant a redesign, like of those new Breath of the plushies. Those are almost all sold out. I just have kind of B grades left of most of them. So the fact that I'm like, hey, let's revisit this like 2 years later and make a redesign, like that's really cool to me. And I'm posting to my followers like, hey, are you guys interested in a redesign? Is this something you'd be like into? And people are like, yeah, do it. That's going to be awesome. That kind of blows my mind that people are like actually into it and behind that. So that's like super accomplishment because I never thought for a second that I'd have people that are following me, let alone purchasing my items.
You built a community.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. I just think that's like the coolest thing. It's like you're like a tribe leader in this like
Yeah.
pin world with like
Like,
your design. It's fun. It's fun to like
it is.
think about it like that. But like that's the definition of like a community when there's like, a following and people like, hey, Why don't you remake some of those pins? Those are great.
Yeah,
I want to buy them again.
I was pretty stoked about that. So they're a little bit bigger and they're going to be hard enamel. So they're a little bit upgraded from the originals.
That's cool. I like that. We'll definitely have a link to that in the show notes for anyone interested. Let's see. What else we have? Oh, okay. We have a fan question. I polled the
Oh,
audience, asked the audience,
oh,
used a lifeline, and those pins wants to know. This is a non-pin related question. What's your dream travel destination?
ooh, ooh, that's Japan.
Oh,
I'd love to go to Japan. I honestly, I don't know Japanese. I just think the culture looks amazing and the food is so good. And every time I watch a movie that has scenes of Japan, I'm like, oh, I gotta go there so badly. And it's the weirdest, like, I don't know anything about I don't know a lot about the culture and I don't know the language, but that's my dream destination. I would love to go to Japan one day.
I'm right there with you. Let's go book a trip like in
it.
April to go see the cherry blossom trees.
Yes, that
That
would
would
be
be
amazing.
nice, right? That we bring the pins. We have a little, I don't know, find a pin show over there
Yeah,
to vend at too.
that'd be so good. And then maybe visit Nintendo. I don't know. I'm just in
Oh
love
yeah,
with Nintendo.
I definitely want to go to like a Poke Cafe.
Oh yes, that would be so good.
Go to like a 24/7 ramen spot.
Yep, I am 1000% in. Let's do it.
Sounds good. I love it. Okay. What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes you've made as a pin maker?
It was pretty early on. I decided on 2 designs because I thought they'd be popular, and they were not. They're my least popular design. So I thought this was probably like my 3rd pin or 4th pin. Oh, the internet, they love cats and they also love tacos. A taco cat would be great. And so would a burger cat. They're like my worst selling designs. I can barely give them away for free. So without pulling like my audience, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to just go ahead and order them, because I ordered 100 of each. And they're just chilling, collecting dust. So that was probably my biggest mistake, was those, unfortunately.
So that's something that you do pretty often now in order to like figure out what pins you're gonna make next. You'll like talk to your audience.
Most of the time, yeah. So I'll pull the audience, and I've got like a few different designs. Recently, I had a couple different designs set up, and I'm like, what would you like me to focus my efforts on? I've got some money saved for my sales. I will put some of my money in. I will do whatever to make this happen quicker. And people voted on what they would most likely want to see first, which I thought was helpful, because I'm like, I don't know where to focus my energy here. So that was super helpful, but it's a little scary to just jump in and order something. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. I like to rephrase it after I hear the answer as not a mistake, but a lesson learned.
A lesson learned, exactly. So I saw on Instagram recently that somebody that I follow, they posted their what was it? Their least selling or like least popular pin of 2021, but they glued googly eyes on it. And I was dying. It was so smart. So they just relisted them with googly eyes on them, and it was brilliant. I think it was Hear Meow, so it was amazing.
That's funny. I like that.
I'm like, maybe I should do that too.
Okay. So we've reached the end of the podcast, or the last portion, I should say, not the end yet. So this is like a rapid fire, this or that. I'm just gonna kind of ask you a couple questions, and the first thing that come to mind, and we can talk about it. But some pin related stuff, some stuff that's not pin related, but it's all good fun.
Excellent.
Okay, soft enamel. Well, I think we know the answer to this one. Soft enamel or hard enamel?
I am a hard enamel girl.
Hard enamel girl. And just 3 adjectives to describe a hard enamel pin.
Smooth, shiny, and screen print.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Dyed enamel pins or glow in the dark enamel pins?
Oh, I love dyed enamel pins. They're so cool. But I can't do it if I'm a hard enamel girl. So I like to buy other people's dyed pins. I made some dyed pins that were just the metal in the past, and I love them. They're so cute. But again, you can't really do it with hard enamels. So,
Yeah.
but dyed enamel for sure, because the glow in the dark is cool, but there's not a lot of purpose because you can only see it when you turn out the light, and then
Who's looking at their pin board?
yeah, who's looking at their pins? Cool, but like not my favorite.
I got you. I feel that. Rubber backings or the metal butterfly backings?
Oh, rubber backings all the way. Butterfly clips. Ugh. I can't.
Do you have the tool, the pin backer removal tool?
Yes, it's amazing.
It is. I was thinking about 3D printing one of those.
Yes, you should. You should.
Okay.
They're a lifesaver. I keep trying to. My husband 3D prints, so I'm like, could you just like make one for me? Because I'm gonna break my other one that I bought really soon. So
That's awesome. Okay,
they're
good to know.
lifesavers. Yes, you should definitely print one.
Okay, cool. Are you hashtag pin game strong or hashtag pin game proper?
I've actually recently moved over to pin game proper because it sounds cooler.
Oh, okay.
Alliteration, I like it.
Hashtag pin addict or hashtag pin collector?
Pin collector.
Yeah.
But pin addict is more accurate. So I don't know. I should probably just throw both of those in the mix.
Pin collector addict.
Yes. All one word.
Yeah. We'll start that hashtag every post from here on out. We got that. Where's your favorite place to rock a pin?
I'm not supposed to, but I wear it on my name tag at work.
Ooh.
It's not part of the dress code, but I usually just put like a little boo pin on the bottom because I made some little tiny boo pins. Haven't got caught yet.
So cute. Yeah, keep doing it. If they didn't say anything, you're good. Been doing this for forever. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's always been there.
Yeah, I thought didn't Debbie say something and just
over there, just
over there in HR.
Yeah.
Are you into comics or video games?
Used to be comics, but now it's more video games. But I can't really say I'm much of a gamer because all I play is Nintendo games. So
okay, better question. Favorite current Nintendo game?
Breath of the Wild. Oh, but Animal Crossing.
Oh, all-time favorite.
All-time favorite.
Nintendo, all consoles included.
Probably A Link to the Past. I love that game. That was so good.
That was pretty good.
Followed up by Breath of the Wild, but
followed up by Breath of the Wild. Why don't we give me another 3 top 5 Nintendo games for Pinsomnia Designs? Clickbait content right here.
Love it, and then all the Animal Crossings after.
Yeah, that new one's amazing.
Way too many hours logged on that so far.
Oh, I got to get I don't even know what it is. Your codes, your vacation, your island code or dream code or something.
Yes, we'll have to switch. I've been working really hard on that island.
I got to see it. Yes. It'd be a lot of fun. It also gives me an excuse to hop on the Switch too. Because it's just cool to get inspiration for a bunch of people. Like when the game first came out, all I was doing was just like looking at Reddit and just looking at all these like custom designs and like, oh my God, how do I turn my island into like this Japanese oasis of just like cherry blossoms everywhere?
Some of them are so amazing. We were never closer to world peace than we were in that week. Well, when Pokemon Go came out, that was pretty close too, but
that was a pretty good time. I had fun with that.
Okay.
All right. Last question. I love ending the podcast with this question. Jordan, what are the little things in life for you?
Little things in life. I'm going to pertain it still to pins. Is that it's so heartwarming when somebody likes your design. It's like an instant hit of serotonin. Like instantly you're like so heartwarmed. Somebody's posting on Etsy or like a review, like my husband loved this. He was so excited. He put it on his guitar strap, and just hearing those stories that people are wearing your things or sporting your things or showing them to other people, or, hey, I showed this to my aunt and she made an order yesterday. Like just hearing those things, like the feedback kind of means everything. Like that's the best part about doing the pin thing. It's not like to make the money or whatever. It's I like seeing that people like the stuff that I make. And that's the coolest thing to me.
Another heartwarming answer for that question. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's really cool. That's a great note to end the podcast. Yeah, this is the end, Jordan. We did it.
We did it.
We had a pinversation.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna let you, shout out any of your favorite pin makers, any friends. Your husband got ton of shout outs already. But if you want to, send them some more love, you're more than welcome to do that. Let people know where they can find you and what you have coming up.
All right. Lots of pressure. I forgot what my website was. No kidding. So most platforms you can find me, Pinsomnia Designs, like insomnia, but with a P, because I don't sleep and I just draw. So it's on most socials. I am on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I have an Etsy shop, but I also have a Shopify, pinsomniadesigns.com. And you can also find me on Kickstarter, but not Pinsomnia Designs. I am still playing with perlers there because you can't change your name. So the most upcoming thing is launching on Pi Day. I don't know when this is going to come out, but Pi Day, I have a ice cream treats Nintendo video game thing coming out. So that's pretty much the most exciting thing that's happening with me right now. But yes, shout out to my little Discord crew. They're amazing. And the pin community in general is just so great. Everybody's been so welcoming and helpful, and it's been awesome.
Awesome. Well, I love it. Also, I just remembered, I clicked the link in your bio earlier today and I saw that you have a Twitch.
Oh yes, I used to stream long ago. Oh yes, we need to update that.
I was like, oh, she's got a Twitch. What is she? I got excited. But yeah, I hope you play some video games. Get that back up going. Next time you have to like unbox pins or something like that. Let's bring the pin community to Twitch.
That would be actually super great because I do all my drawing like this is most people draw with a pen and an iPad. I draw with my trackpad, so I could just do it right there. Yeah, I'm weird. It's fine.
I mean,
works.
It's content. It's content. Yeah. If you're
so
up late,
stream drawing.
Yeah, I keep thinking about that too. Like, if I'm gonna be playing video games, should I just like set up something streaming? Like, if I'm gonna be up late drawing, should I just like go live? Yeah. Should I just monetize my free time?
Honestly, I mean, yeah, I used to stream doing perlers, so people would watch me place every individual bead in the pattern. So if people will watch that, I think they'll definitely watch drawing.
Yeah, I think there's just. I saw a video, it was like a 14-second video or whatever was on your Twitch page, and I saw that and I was like, wow, I would actually watch this. Like, so I brought it up to ask if there was like an active streaming schedule, because I'm like, oh,
no,
interesting
but
content.
I'm thinking maybe getting back into it, maybe the year for it.
Okay, for sure.
Never know.
Well, I'll keep bugging you about that.
All right.
And last thing, you have a special discount code?
Oh yes, I'm trying to. It was Pin Pals 2022
yes.
For I can't remember the discount.
A surprise discount.
A surprise discount.
Where can they use the discount code?
It'll be on my Shopify store and my Etsy shop as well. It'll be for both of them. Okay,
awesome. Pin Pals 2022 for a surprise discount.
Ooh, the magic. Add sparkle or glitter.
Well, I'll hire a visual effects artist and we'll insert something.
Perfect.
Fire.
Love it.
All right, Jordan. Thank you so much for your time. This was a great conversation. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. It was super good. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Peace.